This live stream brought to you by the Excelsior Citizen and these generous sponsors.
The Simmons Sales Team, your hometown realtors.
Our Excelsior Springs Hospital, where better care is right in your backyard. Find out how you can advertise with Excelsior Springs' #1 community resource. Visit excelsiorcitizen.com today.
Hey, hi.
Recording in progress.
I call this meeting to order, and tonight we have Pastor Mike Boudreau of Crescent Lake Christian Center giving our opening.
So Lord, we just want to take a moment to acknowledge our dependence on you. Lord, without you, we can do nothing. But Lord, in you, we can accomplish great things. And so, Lord, we just acknowledge our dependence on you. And God, in humility, we ask you to bless this community. Lord, bless the men and women that are in this room and others that work to make this community a great place to live. Lord, protect them and strengthen them. And Lord, give us supernatural favor that comes from you just blessing us. Lord, we depend on you. And God, as we get ready to celebrate your death, burial, and resurrection, God, we just want to say thank you for extending your love to us. Amen. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilman Spahn?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Okay. Are there visitors present this evening that would like to address the council that are not on the agenda? No? Okay. Before we move on, Andrew? I have a certificate for you. The City of Excelsior Springs, Missouri must present to Mr. Andrew Kowalski in appreciation of your term as councilman from June 12, 2020 through April 14, 2023. The City of Excelsior Springs would like to recognize you for your contribution and service to the citizens of Excelsior Springs. So done this 3rd day of April, 2023. Sharon Powell, congratulations. Okay, and now we have the minutes of our regular City Council meeting of March 20th, 2023.
I make a motion we approve the minutes of the regular City Council meeting of March 20th, 2023.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Spahn?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Consideration of agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as written.
Second. Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Spahn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Agenda item number 1 is a resolution approving a change order with Royal Construction Services, LLC, in the amount of $35,203. Nate?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. So the first item we have for you tonight is the less attractive version, toilet partitions that everybody wants, and you notice when they're not there. We are looking to replace some stainless steel in our that connects to the natatorium, as well as a couple that are up in the building. But this would replace the stainless steel that is rusting, that seems to get a lot of issues from members for a more of like a hard plastic material that will not rust. They will match all the way through the building then with this, and Royal has agreed to do this while they're on site for us, so we're wanting to take advantage of that opportunity. Happy to answer any questions.
Nate, are the shower stalls going to have a similar treatment, or just?
Yeah, this would be all of the partitions.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so yeah, it's considered toilet partitions, but it's toilets, showers, the urinal,
Gotcha.
miniature ones.
Similar components?
Yes. Yep.
Just see the pictures.
Yeah.
A resolution approving a change order with Royal Construction Services LLC in the amount of $35,203.
I move that we approve resolution number 1419.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Agenda item number 2 is a resolution approving a change order with Royal Construction Services LLC in the amount of $45,237.
Yes, so this is for a few different items all combined on this change order. Storm box is the dome coordination and mechanical electrical, which is tied in with the storm box. Gate modifications, so instead of a 10-foot gate, we increase that to a 12-foot gate, so both access points are 12-foot, which just gives us some extra room with our concession trailer, as well as if we needed emergency assistance in there. Better to have a little bit more room than not enough, right? And then the storage building modifications, that's a very small piece of this, but it is changing out just a material that was used to a different material. Well, I know we had discussed on Friday, and one of the questions was about the pre-survey elevations, and without digging and getting down, it's really difficult to know from the sounds of it. But
Jesse,
yeah, I think okay.
sent me over
Got some
response
follow-up
on that.
information on that.
Thank
Awesome.
you for that. Appreciate it.
So happy to answer any questions on this. But
Any questions? Okay, a resolution approving a change order with Royal Construction Services LLC in the amount of $45,237.
I move we approve resolution number 1420, consideration of change order number 3 for Community Center Phase 2 project.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. I think it's amazing that we're this close to the end of our project that we're only at change order number 3.
right, well, 4.
And-
Yeah, the first one was number
First one.
4 that we did, and then the second.
Oh, that was 4, but that was ours, that wasn't theirs.
Yes, yeah, we
So-
added that one on. Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's amazing.
That is good. That's great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item number 3 is a consideration of appointing Mike McCoy to the West Side Community Improvement District Board. We had Brian ran somebody off already. So we had someone resign from the West Side CID, so we would like to appoint Mike McCoy to that position. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I make a motion we approve resolution number 1421, consideration of West Side CID board appointment.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Okay, agenda item number 4. A resolution approving equipment repair and replacement work from Mid-America Valve in the amount of
We have a
No,
presentation.
community development.
Oh, community development, all right.
I don't know anything
Figured
about
that
valves. I was just observing that's not what's
do that
happening out in
one.
the audience. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about valves, sorry.
You're blended.
Oh, that's Chad's. You sure you don't want to talk about it? Community Development Annual Report.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. State statute requires that we provide an annual report to the City Council on work that's done by planning and zoning. We incorporated into our report our entire department's work because everything that we do in the department impacts the work of another division. Our work with planning and zoning affects economic development, neighborhoods, and building trades. The Community Development Department is responsible for all city building and planning activities, including building permits, code compliance, and permitting. Let's see if this is going to work for us. Some may question why community development departments are essential to a city government. Our mission is to advance safe, accessible, and sustainable environments. We are public safety, just not the public safety that you think of very often. We make sure the built environment is safe. When walking in and out of buildings or in neighborhoods, you probably aren't overly concerned about whether or not a building is safe. You just assume it will be because it's been inspected and it's built to a certain standard. Our department plays a vital role in the continued development of sustainable growth and the success of the community. Building codes are the commitment to our community's future. We have a team of 6 individuals over 5 different divisions, and this evening we have with us Lisa Morgan, who is our administrative assistant, and Laura Mize, who is our neighborhood specialist. Chantel Fry is a brand new, fairly new employee. She came to us in August, August of 2022, and she is a senior in urban planning program at the University of Kansas, and will be working with us full-time after May when she graduates. Chantel came to us because I spoke at a class for our planning consultant, Doug Hermes, and during that time that I spoke, I think I mentioned 4 times I was looking for a planner because at the time nobody in the Kansas City market could find planners. And Chantel had approached me after the meeting and we talked for a little bit, and then she contacted us again when she saw the opening. So excited to be able to do that, and that's just one of the ways that speaking at events and such help us. And Chantel and I are co-speaking later this month at Doug's class. I think she's coming to make sure I'm not trying to get another planner. We also have our building inspector, Michael Thompson. Mike's been with us for 9 years. Our code officer, Brandon McCarty, and he's been with us a couple of years, and then myself. There are a number of items that we do on our daily work that includes responding to sunshine requests, typing up minutes, paperwork galore, as we have plans that need to be scanned, inspection forms to file, and so much more. Our department is responsible for 11 commissions and multiple task force. The ESRC, Historic Preservation Commission, and Planning and Zoning boards meet monthly. Our staff spends approximately 60 hours per month working on just those committees. Lisa, Chantel, Laura, and I spend considerable time at these meetings and working on the preparation of the packets and the compilation of information for each of those boards. Our board and staff also require specific training. Our Historic Preservation Commission members are required to have 2 trainings annually in order for us to maintain our certified local government status. Staff does an exceptional job of seeking out the training, particularly free training opportunities that we can share with them. And the numbers don't lie. We had 1,209 people at our counter this last year, over 4,500 calls, 616 permits, and 971 inspections given. When we receive a call, it typically starts a process that's multi-phased. So when we receive a call, we're checking codes, we're driving out to see a property that's in question, we're researching a property, we're providing additional information, or we're scheduling work or meetings that have to be done by staff. Over the past 5 years, we've been tracking our permits, and in fiscal years 20 and 21, you see a large jump in those numbers. That happens to be because on June 11th we had a high windstorm, and we had 414 roof permits during those 2 years. So a roof permit requires 2 inspections. One is completed at mid-work. That allows us to check for ice shields, decking, and felt, and the other is at completions. We do inspections for the benefit of the property owner. Our job is to make sure that the work is completed to code. That isn't always the case, what we see and what we do. In this photo, you see a second floor joist that has been partially removed to make way for a plumbing line. This weakens the second floor considerably because it was across the middle of the entire second floor and makes collapse of the second floor a real possibility. This particular picture was sent to us by a contractor who said, "Not me, but I need you to see this." Our building inspector has to visit them with the homeowner about the issue and require an engineer's report to talk about how we're going to make sure that this building remains safe. We run into these circumstances a lot more than we like to admit. We have over 5,000 structures in our community that Mike has to be responsible for inspecting. We have over 10 square miles, and 30% of our housing is rental housing that requires inspections. So our inspections, one building inspector, our inspections that our building inspector is inspecting new work, repairs, and rental properties. He's kept busy and he likes that. A new single-family home has less than a dozen inspections, whereas a building like Cornerstone Elementary, it required 135 inspections. When we have large projects like Cornerstone or Miller's Cabinet, we actually provide an hour each day that the general contractor is allowed to schedule into meetings with Mike. So this allows the project to continue moving forward smoothly. So when all of the subs need to be pulled into a meeting with an inspector, the pre-scheduled hour allows the general contractor to say, okay, in the Cornerstone Elementary case, it was every afternoon at 1:30, Mike's going to be here. So if we need everybody in a meeting with Mike, it's at 1:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday, and he's present then to help them with whatever it is that they need. And it doesn't make them have to require them to call us and try and schedule around our schedules because we're fairly full. Electrical inspections made up 1/4 of all of our completed inspections in fiscal year 22. Rough-in inspections and plumbing inspections were 20% and 13% respectively. We schedule most inspections in 30-minute increments. However, some of our inspections require an hour or an hour and a half. Typically, an all-trades inspection has to be an hour long. We schedule those daily from 8:30 to 3:30. That gives us a little bit of time at the beginning of the day and the end of the day in which we can actually input all of this information into our inspection system. Codes in our neighborhood division exist to protect the investments that have been made in our communities by individuals. Subpar housing has a direct correlation to the health of those individuals who live there. Voluntary compliance is our goal when improving properties. So in more than 70% of the time, we have achieved voluntary compliance over the last fiscal year. It actually, over the last calendar year, was up to 87% voluntary compliance. When we don't get voluntary compliance, then we have to complete the work. So whether it's mowing or junk and debris cleanup, we hire that done, and in those instances, we place liens against those properties with the county. Last year, we placed $12,960 in liens with Clay County. The county asked us to do this just one time per year. In one instance, we actually placed the lien immediately with the Recorder of Deeds office, and it's because the property we were told was selling, and we wanted to ensure that we received the more than $3,000 in liens that we needed to place against that property when we went to clean it up. So one parcel cost the taxpayers more than $3,000 in cleanup. Laura, as the neighborhood specialist, has been working on programs that are improving neighborhoods. Whether it's starting programs like Neighbors Helping Neighbors, creating awards for neighborliness, or recognizing outstanding neighborhood yards, she has touched nearly every neighborhood in our community. The vacant property registration has seen success with 70 homes tracked within the program. Of those 70 homes, 13 registered with us, 9 immediately remedied their code violations, 12 of those homes were put up for sale or sold, 4 of those homes are now occupied, 9 of those homes have pulled permits to fix the problems that we identified, and 1 of those homes was demolished due to the condition of the home. We also have a 353 program that sees reinvestment in neighborhoods and improvements in our downtown area that Laura works on, and this program is cumbersome and it requires a great deal of work. This year, using ARPA funds, we started the minor home repair program, and we've helped more than 9 properties to date. So this is some of what we see. In this particular photo, you can see this particular property is a property that has been considerable problem for our entire city departments. And the property was taken back over by a stepfather, and this photo here shows the work that's being completed now. So he's fixing the siding issues. But if we're required to finish this work, we're coming in and we're taking all of the trash and debris out, and we're putting a lien against the property for those. I'd love to tell you that we only have to do this one time per property, but we have individuals that, due to whatever circumstances they may be under, we see these repeatedly, and it's properties we go back to time and time again. Our Historic Preservation Commission reviewed 37 certificates of appropriateness. This number's been pretty consistent over the past 5 years. I think it's ranged from 32 to 37 typically. The work on the Historic Preservation Commission includes education as well. This year we hosted the first ever Missouri Preservation Show Me State visit that included an evening of socializing at the Atlas Saloon and a half day of training with our state preservation organization. We also prepare an annual certified local government report that is required at the State Historic Preservation Office. This report and our CLG status allows us to be eligible for grants that other communities would not be eligible for. We were awarded our 30-year CLG status award this year, since we couldn't be awarded that during COVID. The state has held our CLG report, completed by Lisa, up as an example of an outstanding report. It takes probably more than 60 hours to complete this report. In fiscal year 2022, we also nominated Kevin and Sonia Morgan for the McReynolds Award through Missouri Preservation. This award is a prestigious award established to recognize individuals who have made significant achievements in the field of historic preservation in the state of Missouri. Our Planning and Zoning Commission has had a very busy year, and already this year we can tell you that it's not slowing down. In fiscal year 2022, we completed 2 zoning text amendments, 7 special use permits, 13 lot splits, 2 rezonings, and we had 4 study sessions, special study sessions that were used to assist us in doing our code review. Our code had probably not been reviewed in several years, perhaps as many as 10, and this process allowed us to look at the entire code and remove the conflicts from the code. 4 study sessions, and they had more in fiscal year 21. And then, as you can see, these take planning. Each one of these items mentioned here requires a staff report as well as research, and the report to be given at a planning and zoning meeting and then come to you at City Council. So we undertook a number of major projects in fiscal year 22. They included the aforementioned zoning code changes, but they also included the adoption of the 2018 building code and the property maintenance code. We began working to simplify for developers and property owners the development review process. We adopted a universal design incentive program that positively impacts the gold status of our communities for all ages. We worked to improve our neighborhoods by creating a minor home repair program that allows those in needs to apply through Northland Neighborhoods and Rebuilding KC for grant funds to make needed improvements. We adopted the vacant property registration that we hope encourages vacant property owners to improve their properties or sell them or rent them so that they can become activated in our community. We also began working on Save America's Treasures grant. This has allowed us to address structural issues in the Hall of Springs that has actually endangered that wing of the Hall of Waters. The grant also allows us to make some needed repairs to the hall, and we're pleased to say that the Hall of Springs will reopen with the volunteer dinner on April 20th, and the fountain will once again be running in the Hall of Springs. Over the summer and early fall, we demolished the power plant at Wyman. This was done because the tower on the plant had deteriorated considerably, and it was considered a danger to surrounding properties and individuals. As the owner of the property, we felt it was important to address this safety concern. We also, using grants from the Department of Natural Resources, completed Phase 1 environmental reports on 2 city-owned properties, Wyman and 410 Superior, the old city hospital. Working with a developer and property owner, we were able to complete another Phase 1 environmental that provides information for the property owner on what is needed to abate the property and prepare it for renovation or demolition. Phase 1 had to be completed on Wyman so we could demolish the power plant. We are currently working on Phase 2 environmentals on Wyman and waiting on funding from the state for the other 2 properties. The DNR work that we completed and the environmental reviews were done at no expense and were done through a 100% grant from DNR. So we started a number of recognition programs such as World Kindness Day and the Curbside Awards. We received gold status with the Communities for All Ages, and we've been actively involved in the program through Mid-America Regional Council. We continue economic development recruitment through recruitment of assets for our largest industry, which is tourism. We are working to complete a certified site for a large economic development site, which makes the site attractive and will be promoted through the state of Missouri programs. We continue working on recruitment and have incentive discussions with potential partners. You see other projects that we've worked on up there, including the Fishing River Watershed Study. So one of the things we don't do really well is we don't remember to take photographs of all of the successful programs as we're in them because we are so far in them. But this is the demolition of the power plant up at Wyman, and then that lower picture happens to be the bid meeting, the pre-bid meeting for the Hall of Springs when we were working on that. And here you see DNR. We were there to receive the CLG report. At this year's Water Fest, the Watershed Study had a booth and gathered information from community members. It was nice to see individuals walk up to the map and want to tell us about where those problems were. We had a young man that was probably 12 years old, and they were giving away little plastic ducks, and he wanted a duck. But the first thing he wanted to do was find his best friend's house on that map and show us because it floods all the time. And so it was amazing to be able to be somewhere in a community where we can gather that information from all ages and all of the different individuals in our community. And then the lower 2 pictures right here happen to be I get really excited about concrete now that I've been in a basement that has a structural issue. So this is in our basement. This is the wall to the pool, and then this is working on the replacement of terrazzo in the Hall of Springs. When you are in the Hall of Springs and you walk around on the west side of that, we did full depth repair there, taking us all the way to where we could see into the pool when we were standing in the bar area. And they had to come back and repair terrazzo. So we're having to try and find the granite that we need to match the terrazzo from 1930, which is incredibly difficult and took more than 4 months to do. But we're really proud of how close that sample was. There are 3 things that we focus on as Community and Economic Development Department. We are focusing right now on improving place. Through the city's work on grants, we are improving our place and in return are elevating interest in our community. We have increased interest in our community and have over the past 18 to 24 months had more conversations with outside developers about developing in our community. Our biggest challenge is our lack of land. We don't have several hundred-acre parcels that can be developed for large economic development projects like those that you saw at the State of the Cities event last week. We have an 18-acre parcel remaining in the McCullough Industrial Park. We have 2 parcels in the Johnson Industrial Park area available. And the land near Mosby that is within the city limits is hampered by the developer's decision not to address the wetlands on the property and the neighboring properties. The mining going on next door and the airport to the south both create limitations for the development of the property. One creates height limitations and the other creates vibration issues. We are working on improving place and continue to work with local businesses to focus on creating good jobs. We have a number of excellent jobs in our community, and they are always hiring. Small businesses and startups are the backbone of local economies. Our Community of Excellence Thrive program has an economic vitality committee that is focusing on the opportunities to encourage entrepreneurship, something that we have a lot of in our community, and we're searching ways to positively impact additional employment needs. We will continue working on growing and creating a vibrant community. This is probably the piece I'm most excited about. And this is that over the past 15 years, we had $182,379,687 in permit values. 54% of those permit values were pulled in the past 5 fiscal years. So that's $100,021,260. What we have completed in the past 5 years exceeded what we completed in the 10 years prior to fiscal year 18 in permit value. Keep in mind that not all work requires a permit. Therefore, there has been much more than $100 million in building in our community over the past 5 years. Our permits over the past 5 years are nearly equal to the total permits written in the 10 years prior. So what's coming in 2023? We don't slow down. We have a comprehensive plan that we will be out to an RFQ on, and we will be updating our comprehensive plan, which was written in 2009. At the same time, we'll be looking at our neighborhood plan. We'll be doing some additional zoning code changes. We anticipating that permit values will continue to increase, and we will continue to see quite a bit of work going on in our community. We will continue to work on the white elephants. Those would be the large buildings in our community like Wyman, 111 Ash, which is the Isley School, the Roosevelt High School, and 410 Superior, the old city hospital. We'll continue working on economic development. The Hall of Water shoring project is up there, but we're really excited to be handing that off to Andy Starkeybaum as one of our newest employees who will be working on that for us. And then the CLG grant application, which opens in the fall, we will be filling out a grant application to help us update our preservation plan, which we'll need to be doing with our comprehensive plan. And then we already have scheduled for this year the Cultural Heritage Workshop on April 15th, which we hope you can all attend. And we'll be talking about the historic waters of our community, what role they have in our community, and how we might be able to re-engage those. And then the Kansas City, Missouri area permit technicians have training twice a year, and they will be coming, approximately, we think about 30 of them will be coming to our community in September of 2023 for training. They've asked us to host that, and we'll be hosting that, and it's all about solar. So what we need from leadership, we need cheerleaders that are continuing to talk about and focus on the great things happening in our community. We need you to share those things with others. We appreciate the work done by our City Council on policies that positively affect the work that we're doing. What we need from our community, we need to stop focusing on what was and celebrate the good of what is happening now. We need to focus on what comes next and find innovative ways to create exciting new things in our community. We as a department and a city love to explore new ideas and find ways to positively impact our community. We appreciate everything that you do. As we moved into the month of May and it's Volunteer Appreciation Month, we want to take a moment just to thank you as council members. You give a great deal of your time, and we appreciate everything that you do. So thank you for your time today, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Melinda, you mentioned 30% rental.
Yes.
That's down significantly, is it not?
That is down
From
significantly.
10 years prior?
I believe I've heard numbers as much as 40% previously. 30%, it still requires an inspection by a building inspector, and we do those inspections because we believe every resident in our community deserves to have a safe place to live. So when we're doing rental inspections, we're doing them for life safety issues, and so that is down. But we do have the rental program that helps to protect the properties that we have as rental property. But it is down, and we hear a lot of need in our community for additional rental properties. Anything else?
Good job.
Thank you very much.
We're
just a little busy. Just a little.
Okay, agenda item number 5 is the resolution approving equipment repair and replacement work for Mid-America Valve in the amount of $21,340.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. As part of our budget updates for system improvements for this year, at our Northwest Pump Station, we went out to bid for 2 new electric valve actuators on both of the high service pumps there. The current valves are leaking and are obsolete as for parts. The current valve actuators are run for water pressure, and the new ones will be electric with battery backups, and also be connected to the SCADA system where the old ones currently aren't. With the loss of power, the old valve would not close automatically and allow distribution to backflow and overflow the clear wells at the water plant. Since the new valve actuators will be connected to SCADA, we will also be able to control those off-site through the computers. Our crews will perform the install of this with assistance from Mid-America Valve. Mid-America Valve is the low bid. The bid tab is attached. The amount is $21,340, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to discuss it with you.
Okay. A resolution approving equipment repair and replacement work for Mid-America Valve in the amount of $21,340.
I move that we approve resolution number 1422, consideration of Northwest Pump Station high service valve actuator replacements.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Agenda item number 6, a resolution approving equipment repair and replacement work from R.E. Pedrotti Company Incorporated in the amount of $19,210.
Our utility crews have been having problems with the existing level indicators at both Lake Mauer and Frathersville lift stations. It's been going on for several months. The current controllers are needing to be reset anytime from 3 to 4 times a week. They monitor the levels of the wet wells and signal to the pumps when they get full to turn the pump station on and pump it down. If they fail, then alarms are sent out to the crews, which have to go to the pump stations and reset the alarms, or clear the alarms and reset the controller. They are not able to be repaired as they are obsolete, been in service for over 20 years. We went out to bid with these controllers and level indicators at both pump stations. The bid tab is attached, and as it stated, R.E. Pedrotti was a low bid for $19,210 for both pump stations, and they will do the full install of those. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to carry on a further discussion.
Okay. A resolution approving equipment repair and replacement work from R.E. Pedrotti Company Incorporated in the amount of $19,210.
I move that we approve resolution number 1423, consideration of Lake Mauer and Frathersville lift station control upgrade project.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Agenda item number 7 is a resolution approving a task order for Lamprey Nearson Incorporated in the amount of $48,615.60 related to pavement condition assessment.
This item is mainly due to the rising cost of inflation, cost of construction that's been going on the last several years, and our current transportation funds that we've been allocated for the most part into the street overlays and our streetscape program isn't keeping up with it. Each year it seems like we do less and less lane miles for pavement. So Lamprey Nearson has prepared task order number 2023-02 for engineering services from our current on-call contract for a pavement condition assessment and report. Their scope of services include a pavement inspection from Stantec Services, which digitally scans all 81 miles of our existing street system and creates a database for the engineers to evaluate and score each street for a condition assessment. It will also scan the curbs and sidewalks for the database for exact inventory of those assets. Curbs and sidewalks will not be included in the detailed assessment, but for information needed to determine future expenses for establishing budgetary numbers for upgrades and replacements of those infrastructure items, and what funds are needed to maintain the street system. A detailed description of work to be performed can be found on the adjoining task order. The fee for this work is a lump sum cost of $48,615.60, of which $33,615.60 is for Stantec services, including scanning and delivering the data to the database, and $15,000 is for Lamprey Nearson services, including project management, projection of the street's conditions, a recommendation of street maintenance techniques, and budgetary recommendations. And part of those are what we're doing this year with a chip seal program on N and H Highway, or the portions of N and H Highway that are currently inside Excelsior Springs. It's just a cheaper alternative versus the overlays. The Transportation Trust Authority met on March 13th, 2023, and discussed and approved funding for this project in an amount not to exceed more than $50,000. A resolution is attached, and I'd be happy to discuss any questions you may have.
Chad, I know we had questions on the amount versus what was specified in the resolution.
Yes.
I don't know if I just haven't refreshed my iPad, but the amount on the attachment still shows the $48,584.40.
Right. The task order or the scope of services, has that contract in the $48,615.60. The engineer's estimate, that one is just a general breakdown, as it's designed as a civil design group fee estimate, and that's at $48,584.40. So that's a breakdown. It doesn't equal out exactly, but the scope of services is the contract amount.
Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, resolution approving a task order for Lamprey Nearson Incorporated in the amount of $48,615.60 related to pavement condition assessment.
I make a motion we approve resolution number 1424, consideration of agreement with Lamprey Nearson for task order 2023-02 engineering services pavement maintenance condition assessment and report. That's a long
Second.
Oh, Shannon.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8 is a resolution approving a lease agreement with United Services Incorporated.
This is United Services doing business as United Fiber. They're requesting consideration of proposed long-term lease of the city's public safety equipment building that's located at the city's property at the Pasta Plant Water Tower site. This equipment building was originally installed by Public Safety in 2002 and used at that point entirely by the police and fire department. Since the city has moved their communications to the Mars radio system, we currently do not have a need for this particular equipment building, and United Fiber has been co-locating in it while we are transitioning out. We would like to maintain ownership of it in case we need it in the future, but currently don't have particular use. The long-term lease allows United Fiber to make some improvements on the property with the building.
Any questions? A resolution approving a lease agreement with United Services Incorporated.
I move we approve resolution number 1425, consideration of lease agreement with United Services, Inc., DBA United Fiber.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Agenda item number 9, a resolution approving participation of the City of Excelsior Springs in the Regional Resource Sharing Agreement.
This is an agreement that was developed by Mark and their public safety committees. It supplements the city's mutual aid agreements that we have with neighboring communities. It's not unusual for us to need the assistance from our neighboring communities, and we also provide assistance to them. Most typically when there's a fire, ambulance coverage, some police services that we've actually needed this year more than normal. But this is intended to create a database and expand the typical assistance that we might need to include things like public information officers, medical examiners, public health, public works volunteers. And so it's intended to sort of make that a much broader list and easier for you to locate those resources.
Any questions? A resolution approving participation of the City of Excelsior Springs in the Regional Resource Sharing Agreement.
I move we approve resolution number 1426, consideration of the Regional Resource Sharing Agreement.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon?
Councilman Spawn?
Yes.
Councilman Kowalski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear?
Yes.
Mayor Powell?
Yes. Agenda item number 10 is an ordinance allowing claims and appropriating to pay the same by issuing checks out of various funds of the city.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Appropriations for your approval is for a 2-week period of accounts payable and 1 payroll. Appropriations on March the 16th of $148,323.23. Appropriations on March the 22nd, $357,693.84. And 1 payroll on March the 31st of $372,833.64 for total appropriations of $878,850.71. And I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have them.
An ordinance allowing claims and appropriating to pay the same by issuing checks out of various funds of the city.
I move we take ordinance number 23-04-01, consideration of appropriations to second reading.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Morgan,
I will abstain because there was a payment to Morgan Sites in this last issuance of checks.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes. An ordinance allowing claims and appropriating to pay the same by issuing checks out of various funds of the city.
I move we approve ordinance number 23-04-01, consideration of appropriations.
Second.
Roll call, Shannon.
Councilwoman Morgan,
Abstain.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes.
Councilman Spawn,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear,
Yes.
Mayor Powell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, remarks by city manager.
The only thing I have is in your transmittals is the March court report. That's it.
Sonia?
Yes, several of us attended the State of the Cities luncheon last week. It was very nicely done. Sharon did a great job. She always does of representing our community. Thank you, Sharon, for that. Andrew, it's been a pleasure serving with you. And we will have another meeting, a special meeting again together, but just because we formally did that tonight, I want to say thank you. And the planning department, what a wonderful report. We're doing very good as a community, and we appreciate all of your work, your hard work. Thank you.
I would echo that. I appreciate all that you have done, Sharon. I don't have a proclamation for you. We could write one out, but no, just appreciate, whether it be the state of the cities or just the way that you carry on the role of mayor. I appreciate all that you've done for our city and the citizens of our city.
Cheer.
Yeah.
I would echo that. I appreciate watching you in this role and serving alongside you for the past year, and Andrew as well. And to the 4 candidates that are in the room, just 4? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good luck tomorrow. We will see who comes out on top, and welcome whoever that is to the council, and I look forward to working with you.
I just want to say that it's been an honor to serve. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you all, and Sharon in particular. You've done a really good job representing the community, being out and putting Excelsior's best face forward, and I know that you've had to go above and beyond to do that, so thank you very much for the many years of service.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank everyone for their support, and it has been an awesome 9 years, and it's kind of bittersweet tonight, this being my last full council meeting. You guys have just been awesome to work with. Everybody brings great ideas to the table and good questions, and it keeps us on our toes and makes us think. And all the departments have just been awesome to work with. We've got great directors in all of our departments, and you did a nice job tonight, Melinda, with your codes. And I'm going to miss working with Deb. That's been the fun part of the job, is working with Deb. The partying, but I can still party, right? And good luck to all of the candidates. I know whoever wins will come and do an excellent job and move the city forward. We have accomplished a lot in the last 9 years, and I expect great things from you in the next 9. Thank you. gavel.